Hey, please ignore the absolute mess around me. This is my studio in progress, and I'll talk about it another time. So I'm just going to skip to the heart of the content today, and that is Flattr. It is a social micropayment system that I think could be a very, very valuable tool to the entire crafts world online. It's easiest to describe how Flattr works from the perspective of a consumer, but keep in mind that if you're a content producer, this is all very relevant to you. Say, I am a surfer of the internet. This is not a hard thing to imagine, for it is true. As I surf around the internet, there are articles that I read, blog posts that I see, photographs that I really like. I would really like to support the people who make the content that I enjoy, but there isn't really an easy way to do that. Sure, we can leave comments and we can tell other people about it. Those are the sort of non-tangible ways that we can support the content that we really enjoy. But I would like to support that content in a more concrete way. Here's where Flattr comes in. The number one great thing about Flattr, in my opinion, is that it is really, really easy to use. So it means that as I'm surfing around the internet and I find content that I like, all I have to do to support that content in a tangible way, where tangible means by giving money to the creator, is click a button. That's it. So, setting up your account. It's super easy. You go to flattr.com, you register your account, and you decide how much money you want to put in your account each month. And I believe that they might do an auto draw every month so that you don't end up having no money in your account. So since we're talking about a 1 month period, let's continue doing that. Say I put €2 in my account for a month. That's the minimum amount that you can have in your account, and that's not very much money at all. So I put €2 in my account, and it's done in euros because it's based out of Scandinavia, so local currency. I don't know if Flattr has plans to support other currencies at some other time, but it doesn't really make a difference. Over the course of the month, I click a Flattr button on the content that I find really great that I want to support. At the end of the month, Flattr tallies up all of the times that I've Flattered content, and it gives each of those content makers a slice of my cash. So say I put in €2 and I Flattr 2 things. Each of those content creators gets 50% of what I had in my cash. Now, if I Flattr 100 things, then each of the 100 pieces of content that I Flattered gets 1/100th of what I put in my account. So all you have to do as a consumer is set your account up and then Flattr away. As a content creator, what that means is that if you display a Flattr button on your content, and you can set it up to display at the end of every blog post or on your photographs or in your sidebar or however you want to do it, then you have provided the readers and the consumers of your content a very easy way to support you monetarily. And Flattr has only really been around for a year, and they just did something very, very important. It used to be that in order to have Flattr on your site, you had to be a Flattr user, which means you had to put money in your account and Flattr things in the month in order to receive money for your content. They've just removed that barrier to entry. So now, to have Flattr appear on your blog or your photos or your website or however you want to do it, you don't have to set up your account and do all of those kinds of things. You just have to sign up for Flattr and put the code on your website. There is no reason not to do this unless for some reason you're horribly offended by the idea of making cash in euros. Don't be horribly offended by that. I see this as being a super, super valuable option for crafts bloggers, because so many of us put our hearts and souls into the content that we create, and we don't sell it. We're avid bloggers, and we share our information, we share tutorials, we share patterns for free sometimes, we take outstanding photographs of our work. Flattr is a way that the people who benefit from our content can, with a very simple click, help us create more content. This is an amazing thing. I can't say it more emphatically than that. I don't have my act together enough to know exactly what I'm going to talk about in my next video blog, and I just talked fairly convolutedly about this Flattr thing, so you should probably have questions because I may have just confused you entirely. Ask those questions and I'll answer them in my next episode. See ya!